I'll walk you through how you can create a SaaS application that you can collect real money from your users without writing a single line of code within an hour. I'll be creating a beautiful user interface, a backend to persist users' data, and also process payment from the users. To do this, we'll be using Lovable, an AI coding agent that allows us to build applications without writing any code. We'll also be using Supabase and Stripe to handle backend and collect payments. So step 1, we're going to be building the front end or the user interface of the application. Whenever I build a new application, I like to always start from the front end, make sure I like all the visuals and all the features are working locally, and then move on to adding all the features, connecting it to backend or payment processors or whatever. So let's start from there. Okay, so we've jumped into Lovable where we can have a conversation with the AI and it'll build out all the applications that we want to. For this example today, I'll be building a Google Photo clone type of application where users can store photos on the application, and it'll also have different tiers. It'll have a free tier and a paid tier and maybe a few different variations of paid tier like Pro or I don't know, Pro Plus or something, where depending on the tier, it'll change how many photos the users can store. So let's start with a simple prompt, something like create a Google Photo clone where users can upload and manage their photos. I think this is a good starting point. Now, while Lovable is building out the application, I'd like to highlight that here's a Supabase integration button that you can get started with, and we'll be diving into that later on when we actually add Supabase, which is a backend, and fully connected to a server where all the photos and all the user data will be persisted. But coming back to the front-end application, you can see Lovable doing its magic. If you're a no-code developer without much coding experience, you don't need to worry about all these code being written. Generally, with Lovable, you don't really have to ever go into the actual editor. It just displays all the code just because it's kind of cool looking, but it does a really good job of creating the applications without ever interacting with the code like I promised in this video today. So here we have a simple application. I think this is a good starting point. Let's take a look at what we can do here. So I have some random images sitting down here in my folder. If I upload it, it's instantly visible. If I try to upload another one, it just shows up there, which is awesome. I feel like this is, we're done. Yeah, yay, done with the video. Except if I hit refresh, I think all the data, yeah, is gone. So as you can see, we have a nice interface and seemingly working application, except whenever we refresh the page, all the information is gone. That's because it's not persisted anywhere. But yeah, that's okay. We'll take care of that later. I want to add a few more features. So later on, when we connect it with the backend, we will introduce authentication where users can sign up, log in, and manage their user account and stuff. But before that, I guess one thing we can do is we can maybe create a different page where users can choose different tiers. And for now, obviously, it's not going to be connected to any payment processing. So yeah, it's just gonna be a static page where users can just say, okay, I'm a pro member or I'm a free member, and then we can tweak the app depending on that. So let's say something like looks great. Now let's introduce tiers. Create 3 tiers: free, pro, and Pro Plus. For a free tier, users can upload up to, in reality, we're probably gonna allow like, I don't know, 20, 50 or whatever for free tier, and then 100, 200, 300. Obviously, I don't want to sit here and upload 200 images. So let's say free tier users gets to upload 2, Pro up to 4, and then Pro Plus unlimited. So free tier users can upload up to 2 images. Pro tier users can upload up to 4 images, and Pro Plus users can upload unlimited number of images. Create a button in the main page that opens up a dialog to change the tier. For now, it's okay that the users can choose whatever tier they want. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, so Lovable is doing its magic. It's implementing the dialog to choose different tiers and upload limit enforcement based on. Okay, well, actually, it's done. So, okay, I see it. Current plan tier. So we can hit this and we can choose different tiers, and it shows a nice toaster that I've changed my tier. So let's upload 2 images. It even allows me to bulk upload images. Okay, there's a serious face me right there. And if we try to upload the third one, it says you're beyond your current limitation. If I change my tier to Pro, it allows me to upload more. And if I try to go beyond my current limit by uploading few more, okay, it allows me to upload 1, but then it didn't allow me to upload the second one. But if I go to Pro Plus, I can just upload a whole bunch of them. Looks great, looks great. Just out of curiosity, and I don't intend to go that deep in this particular video, but I wonder what happens when I go to free from Pro Plus after uploading a whole bunch of images. I guess nothing happens, which is okay. Yeah, that's some edge cases that we might want to pick up in an actual application. But for now, I think this is, beyond good enough. Now moving on to step 2, adding a backend. Now that we have a web app that works locally, it's time to add a backend so that we can persist user data on a server. For this, we're going to be choosing Supabase because it has authentication, database, and a storage to store the images from the user, and it also has a native integration with Lovable. Okay, so a new Supabase project has been created. This is all we need to do, and the rest will be taken care from the Lovable interface. So we can come back to our Lovable page and head over to the Supabase button and choose the Supabase project that we just created, Lovable Photos. Hit connect, and we're just gonna hit connect again. And yep, Lovable is connecting to Supabase. You can see that I'm now connecting to your Supabase project. Gather database information, which is a freshly created Supabase instance, so there's not much information there. But we are doing frontend first and then backend later, and it's done connecting with Supabase. So now we can ask Supabase specific queries here. So first thing that we want to do is adding authentication, because otherwise this app wouldn't really work. So we can just say add authentication to the app. I could be more specific, but generally Lovable does a really good job of handling these vague prompt. So what Lovable did here is it's generating a profiles table for us. It's trying to generate these tables for us on the Supabase instance, and whenever it runs a SQL query, it has to get our permissions, which is a very nice feature. It's very safe, so we can make sure that everything's all good. If you're not so familiar with SQL, generally it does a good job, but if you are absolutely not sure, and if you have an actual working production app that you don't want to break, then you might want to consult another person or another AI. But in this case, we're just playing around, and I I trust Lovable very, very much, so we're just gonna hit apply change, and Lovable is doing its magic. So it has created the profiles table. Now it's adding a whole bunch of login related features into our app. Okay, so it has added authentication. For now, so usually we need to first sign up and then sign in. I'm just going to jump into my Supabase dashboard and create a dummy user here. So if I zoom out, here's a add user button here. We can create a new user, call this Tyler at supabase.io, and my super secure password. And I'm just gonna say this user has already confirmed their email address. With this user created, I can jump in here and say I'm Tyler at supabase.io, and what was my secure password? Secure password, I think. Great. Now I've signed into my application. There's a logout button. I can upload photos, and can I still change plans as I want? Yep, I can change plans. So maybe this is something that we can work on after this. And before we dive in, it's saying that please note that the photo grid component is getting quite long, over 150 lines. We should consider refactoring it into smaller components in the future for better maintainability. Yeah, what it says makes sense. Generally in coding, if you're not so familiar with coding, you don't want to have a super long files, especially when you're working with AI, because AI can only take in so many tokens or so many lines of code. And generally, if you try to cram too much into AI, it'll just start being lazy, or it'll just start skipping a few lines. So let's see, we can just say split photo grid component in multiple files so that each files are smaller. So here we're not really adding any new feature, it's just maintaining code bases. Even though we don't really see the code bases, it's still important to keep those things in mind. Keep your code base AI friendly so that your AI can keep doing its magic. Okay, so we are back. AI has done the refactoring. The app looks the exact same. So now let's take care of this current plan issue where users can just choose whatever plan they want. Except, should I take care of that after adding payment? You know what? No, let's go ahead with it. So the way it works is, if we jump into the Supabase table, we have a profiles table here, which if you don't code, you don't really need to know so much about, but it's basically the table that takes care of user information, like a tier column. So here, if I am a free tier user, it'll say free here. If I am a pro tier user, it'll say pro. And since I'm a pro plus tier user, it'll say pro plus, which is great. I honestly thought I would have to first ask it to add a tier column, but it's able to do that. So, okay, then in that case, let's skip messing with this, because when we move on to adding payments, we want to basically have the user choose a tier and then take them to the payments page and make a payment. So let's see if we can upload. Let me go back to a free tier, and if I do go back to a free tier, does my tier get updated? Yes it does. Wow, okay. Lovable is really awesome, isn't it? So if I try to upload 2 images and then upload another one, it's obviously going to block me. And I want to know if these images are being persisted on the database. So it's probably not persisted, right? There's no images table, but let's see if we have something in the storage. Okay, so there's nothing in the storage. That means these images are not persisted, which means if I refresh the page, it's all gone. Yes, yep, it's all gone. So, okay, let's do this. So currently the images are not persisted. Upload the images that the user selects to Supabase. I feel like this is a poor prompt, but let's see what it can come up with. Okay, so it's generating a bunch more SQL. So it's generating a table, a photos table, to keep track of which photos are related to which user. And it's also generating row-level security policy, which is something you need to keep tables secure. And it's also creating a new bucket. So a bucket in Supabase is something that you store files such as images or videos or PDFs. So it's creating that. It's creating a bucket called photos. Great. It's also setting some row-level security policy so that new files can be inserted with anybody who's authenticated, and also anybody can basically download the photos in the photos bucket. Now, okay, this is very hard to pick up if you don't know SQL, but let's see if we can help Lovable figure out on its own about this flaw. So let's see. We can say something like, make sure the storage buckets are secure and only the uploader can view and upload the files. So just an extra push to Lovable, making sure that everything is nice and secure. And I have high faith for Lovable. I'm sure it can figure out the flaw. Okay, so great. So now we have some additional policies. We have for select, we are making sure that the user's user ID is the first element of the folder name. So I'll go deeper into this particular one later on, but it looks good. So we can hit apply changes for this first one, and then we can hit apply changes for the second one, which creates the bucket and it creates the new, more secure policies. So we can go back to our buckets. We can see the photos bucket. So let's try it. So we can upload 2 images, and then that's the limit. No. So if we refresh the page, are the photos persisted? They are not persisted, are they? Oh, okay. Lovable was still working on its magic. I guess I moved too quick. Migration is being applied, has been applied successfully. It's still doing something, so let's wait for a bit. Okay, let me now update the code to handle secure. Okay. So, yeah, let's wait for that. I wonder if it's already uploaded. I guess nothing has been uploaded yet, so let's go back, wait for Lovable to handle everything. Okay, I'm not sure what this error is, but it has encountered a error. Cannot find name Supabase. What's great about Lovable is, typically when it comes to AI development, there's a lot of errors that happen, and Lovable actually does not charge for fixing these errors. So whenever you see our error, just hit that try to fix it button. It'll be taken care of for free for you, which is one of the really amazing things about Lovable. Okay, let's try it out. So I am going to upload a photo and hit refresh and see if I can still see that photo. Fingers crossed. Yes, I do. Okay, great. So if we jump into our Supabase Photos bucket, we see the target photo. So storage buckets in Supabase are organized in folders. We have this weird gibberish string folder name / the file name. And this particular string matches my particular user ID, which is generated automatically by Supabase. And that's how Lovable is able to make sure that, which file goes into which file, and that's how Supabase is able to keep everything secure. If someone else is trying to access this folder, Supabase is able to deny that request because their user ID does not match this file name, which is a very common way of securing Supabase storage buckets. So great, I think this is working. If we jump into the tables, we see a photos inserted into our photos table with a user ID, which is my user ID that we saw earlier, 027, some title, a storage path, created at. Everything is looking very beautiful. Now on to step 3, payment processing. Now at this point, we have a fully functional web app that can store users' images. One problem is we don't collect actual payments from the users, so users can actually change their tier as they want, which is obviously not what we want. So we want the users to pay us if they want to upgrade their tier to Pro or Pro Plus. So let's add that. For that, we'll be using Stripe to collect payments, and we'll also create a Supabase Edge function that can handle all the payment processing. Except, obviously we won't write any code. Lovable is going to do all the magic for us. Coming back to Lovable, we can ask it to add Stripe to our app. So add Stripe to collect payments. Now this is going to ask us a few things, such as Stripe's API key and whatnot. But let's wait for that. So it's adding Stripe. It has taken care of a few things in the background. Okay, so it's asking us a few things. So first, let's look at the requirements. We have Supabase project setup. We have added authentication. Now we need a Stripe account and Stripe API key, and we need to provide a price ID from the Stripe project. Now, before we proceed with the implementation, we need to create a Stripe account, create a product, create a Stripe API key, and price ID. So let's move on to do that. And once we have everything, we can add the API key from this button right here. So I've actually already created a Stripe account. If you don't have one, you can create one for free, but it takes a few days to create your account. However, you should be able to create a test account right away, which is what I have right now. I have a Lovable SaaS sandbox account. So since this is a sandbox account, no actual payment will be processed, and it's safe in a way that no actual transaction happens to expose my secret key here. If you have a actual live Stripe account, the secret key is something you don't want to expose to anybody, any system, any AI prompt. So let me take this secret key and come back to Lovable and add the API key right here. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to add this secret key to your prompt, because that'll expose your secret key to the AI model, and also depending on your Lovable setting, that might expose the API key to the public, which is a very bad thing. So yeah, I've added my sandbox API key. If you want to collect actual live USD or other currencies, then you have to provide a production Stripe account. But we're just testing out things here. So I've added the Stripe secret key. Now we have to provide a payment ID, price ID. So we can come back to the Stripe dashboard, go to products catalog, and we're gonna be creating 2 products. We will create a Pro tier We can just call it Pro. We don't need any images. Amount, let me just change it to USD and $10. Why not? Monthly recurring revenue, yep, sounds good. And we are also going to add a Pro Plus, which will be $50. And that is good. Now, each one of these products should have a price ID. Now, in order to get the price ID, we can click into the product, and then we can click into this price here, and then we can get this price ID here. This price ID is not super secure. It's actually publicly accessible information, so you can expose it. And that was the Pro price, right? So here is the price ID for the Pro plan. And here is the price ID for the Pro Plus plan. And we can get the Pro Plus price ID right here. That should do it. Now with this, Lovable is going to spin up a few Supabase Edge function, which you don't need to worry too much about, but essentially a backend function that'll handle processing payments and processing webhooks from Stripe, I think. That'll notify Supabase once a user upgrades or changes their tier or product or subscriptions. So, yep, thanks for providing the price ID. Since the application already has tiers, I'll help you implement subscription-based payments for the Pro and Pro Plus tiers. Sounds great. So it's modifying so let's first create a Stripe checkout edge function. So it's creating a few edge functions behind the scenes to handle the payments and webhooks that are coming in from Stripe. And it has implemented subscription system. The changes include new edge functions, the update the dialog, so that when user tries to change their tier, they will hopefully be taken to a checkout page, and then handle a success and error case or cancel case for the payment processing. Let's give it a spin. Let me hit refresh just in case. And let's try to upload a few more photos and see that we get on. I was hoping we get our error message, but for some reason we are not getting a error message. Let's see what is up there. Okay, so I think somewhere along the line, yeah, it got rid of the limitation feature, which we can come back and add. Or let me hit refresh and make sure that, okay, so all these images are actually being stored. So let's see. It appears that a free tier user can now upload more than 2 images. Make sure the limitation for the free and pro tier users are there. Things like this might happen when you're coding with AI, but the beauty is that you can always ask AI to implement it back. And if you're interested in actually going deeper into coding, what you can do is you can actually set up tests so that these conditions are always met. And what these test codes do is it simulates different scenarios, and you can ensure that under different circumstances, different conditions are met. So, for example, in an actual test code, you can simulate a free tier user and make sure that free tier user trying to upload more than 3 images will fail. Okay, so it failed to upload image. Let me refresh the page and try it out again. Okay, so it looks like it's working, except I feel like if I delete a few of these, so let me delete 2 photos, come back, refresh the page. I wonder if it's going to allow me to upload 2 photos. I feel like that is what happened earlier. Okay, great. Actually, it looks like Lovable fixed everything. So now the limitation for free tier and hopefully the pro tier is there. Moment of truth, we can change the user's tier to pro, except Stripe integration does not work within this preview screen. What we have to do is we have to actually publish this app and view it in a standalone browser window, not within a preview. So our website has been published. We can hit that URL to open our app in a standalone browser window. I can sign into my Supabase, supabase.io with my secure password. Great. Now, just to make sure that, the free tier limit is there. Okay, as a free user, I'm not able to upload any more images. If I want to change my tier to pro, hopefully this takes me to Stripe checkout page, except it did not. So let's come back and ask Lovable. So if that failed, then I could probably do it here. Okay, so there's an error. We can just hit the fix error button to have Lovable fix our error for free. I guess this is in a way a bit hacky, but a nicer way as a user to have AI fix the bug for free. Instead of, if you find a clear error that the Lovable error message pops up, then you can probably just press that. But if you find an error somewhere else, like not in the preview window but in the actual production app, you can maybe simulate that error in the preview window and then have the fixed error button pop up and then fix your errors for free. But yeah, let's see if we can just do that right here. So if I hit pro, it's still not going. Let's see what's going on. Notice that the error is occurring because the edge function create checkout is not being found. Let's fix this. Okay. Let's see. And then now with the new error, let's just trust Lovable and see what it can come up with. So let me help you with the 404 error step by step. Create checkout is not being found at the expected URL. This typically means that the function hasn't been deployed. The function configuration is incorrect. Function URLs is incorrect. Okay, so it updated a few files. Okay, it looks like it fixed the error. Hopefully it works this time. But let's see. And there you go. It's trying to take us to the checkout page, which it's failing because it doesn't work within the preview window here. But if I refresh this page and try to change my plan to a pro in the standalone browser window, I wonder if I have to, I guess I have to hit, okay, let's hit redeploy. Hopefully that means it's done deploying the latest version. If I hit refresh, and try to change my plan to Pro. There you go. I have been taken to a Stripe checkout page. I can test out the checkout flow with a actual test credit card that I have, or Stripe provides. None of these actually matter, but yeah, sure, Japan. Phone number is optional. If I hit subscribe, I should be taken back to my app, and hopefully my tier would have changed. It's currently free, but if I hit refresh, it's still free. Is it still free? It is still free, and I guess within the database it's still free as well. If we jump into the Stripe dashboard, come back to Pro, there has been a purchase request, so that's working. Do we have a customer? We do have a new customer, and the customer is a Pro tier user currently, so that's good. That is working just fine. Now, okay. Let's see. We can ask Lovable to fix this. Once the user has put down a payment for a Pro tier, Pro or Pro Plus tier, their tier within the Supabase database should be updated as well. I could have said, implement a, well, actually, it wouldn't be able to implement webhook because I would have to configure the webhook for Lovable. Okay, so it's actually doing that. So it's actually creating a new edge function to handle Stripe webhooks that will update users' tier. And then, I guess this is something that I didn't do. I'm not sure if Lovable asked me to do that. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't, but what I have to do is I have to take this and set up this webhook within Stripe. So this function listens to Stripe webhook events and verifies and handles status changes. You'll need to set up Stripe webhook in your Stripe dashboard, pointing to your Supabase Edge Functions URL, and add webhook secret to your Supabase Edge Functions secret. Okay, so Stripe webhook logs. Okay, so we can come into Stripe and developers, and then we can open webhooks, and we can create a event destination. Now we can get the endpoint. So endpoint is essentially a URL that you want to call when something happens. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we can come and open the Stripe webhook edge function, go to overview or details actually, and get the endpoint URL. Now we can just copy and paste this in here. We don't really need any description, and add a endpoint, except we didn't select any events. So for this, we want to select, my memory working with Stripe is a bit rusty. Was it? What is it called? Is it payment method, payment link, payout, plan? We can actually ask Lovable, what event do we need to select? when creating the webhook within Stripe. We could have also probably asked this in a separate AI. That way it wouldn't take one credit away from the Lovable current plan, but that's okay. This is just a demonstration of Lovable, so let's keep it here. So based on the edge function code we're using, you need to select the following event in your Stripe webhook configuration. Checkout session completed. Oh, that's it. Checkout session completed. Okay. Checkout session completed. So, checkout session completed. Add events, add endpoint. Now, once we have the webhook created, we can get the webhook secret, copy that, and take it into Supabase edge functions, and we need to add it as an environment variable. So we can come here to add new secret. The secret value is the webhook secret, and this is another thing that you don't want to expose to the public, so make sure it's secure. And I'm wondering if Lovable gave us what the name of this secret should be. So scrolling up, that's the error. We need to create edge functions to handle Stripe webhook. Set up Supabase webhook, pass the edge functions URL, and add webhook secret to your Supabase edge functions as secrets. So I guess it did not give us what the secret should be. So what should the webhook secret be called? What should the webhook secret be called? What webhook secret environment variable be called within Supabase edge functions? Okay, so it has actually got the actual reference from the code base, which is pretty awesome. We can just copy this bit, and we can just copy this bit and take it into our Supabase dashboard, secret name, paste that in there, and create a secret. Okay, so now let's see if we can do it again. The current tier is free. Yeah, let's try to upgrade to Pro Plus. So if I upgrade to Pro Plus, it's going to take me to another checkout page, and I can check it out with a fake credit card. And check out. Now, once this checkout is complete, there should be a request sent to Supabase edge functions from Stripe, and that should trigger updating the user's tier. So if we go back to the edge functions logs, we're not seeing anything just yet. If we go back to the Stripe dashboard and refresh the page, we do see a request being sent, except, okay, missing authorization header error happened. So, okay, we can probably take that. So we have this error. We can probably take the entire thing. Okay, we can say for the Stripe webhook endpoint, we are getting the following error. And let's see if Lovable can fix this. This is, for those who code, you might know what the cause of this, but Supabase edge functions by default requires a special header, the anonymous key, to be present within the request. And that's where the error is coming from. Now, Lovable knows this. Need to configure to allow on authenticated requests. Currently, our edge function requires authentication by default. So it has modified Stripe webhook. This changes disable JWT verification for that endpoint. This is secure because we still verify the incoming web hook. Couldn't apply your changes because the code changes I suggest were the same as the previous code. Please rephrase your request or provide more details. We can verify what's going on here. So we can open the Stripe webhook details page, and if we scroll down a bit, we can see the function configuration is set to enforce JWT verification. Yeah, okay, in this case, if I'm just gonna tweak this, you can just toggle this by yourself manually and hit save. Whenever you see that error, it just means that you can turn this off and have the edge functions be able to be invoked without the actual header in place. So with all of that, let's see if we can go back. Let's remove these products from this Tyler Schuchert guy. Cancel subscription immediately. Okay, so now there's no subscription for this guy. We have a fresh start for him, and let's go back and try to upgrade to a upper tier. So we want to upgrade our tier to Pro. Fingers crossed this works. Okay. Subscribe. Now there's a bit of time lag between when the subscription happens and the webhook is triggered. So it's expected that the tier hasn't changed yet here, but hopefully if I hit refresh, the tier has been updated, except it has not been updated. Okay, so let's take a look at what is going on. We can open the logs and we can see that no invocations has happened. If we go into Stripe dashboard, developers, and webhooks, open this webhook that we created, it got another error saying this cannot be used in a synchronous context. I wonder if we can get the full error message, because that'll be super helpful. But maybe not. Okay. Let's give this to Lovable. I got the following error message within the Stripe webhook edge function. Okay, so it looks like it knows why it happened. This error occurs because we're using the synchronous I don't really fully understand what's going on, but that is okay. The main change is replacing this with that, which hopefully makes it work. So let's go back and try it out again. Let me refresh the page, and let's see if it allows me to just subscribe to Pro again. And it doesn't, because I already am a Pro member, which makes sense. So let me just cancel my subscription manually here. Let's cancel this subscription immediately and come back. And I want to change my subscription tier to Pro. Now, let's see. Hit subscribe. Payment being processed right now. And moment of truth. Fingers crossed. This time we hopefully have it. If I hit refresh, the tier is still free. If we go to developers, webhooks, open webhook, it looks like, no, there's no new webhook events, huh? There has not been a new webhook event. Okay, so this is the previous one, I think. Maybe this happened because I resubscribed to the same plan too soon. Nope, new event was sent out. A user not found has been sent out. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so I think what this is trying to do is, here we can take a look at the request that Stripe sent, and we can see that it's sending out a few information about, price and tier and customer ID, customer name, and whatnot. But there is nothing that associates the Supabase user that we see within the dashboard with this particular Stripe customer. So we could probably properly debug this, but I'm just going to give this error message to Lovable. I'm getting this error message when I upgrade to a Pro plan for this user. Hopefully you can figure out what's going on and fix the issue. Okay, so this error occurs when upgrading to Pro plan. The issue is the webhook handler where we're trying to find the user in the wrong table. Okay. So it is trying to now look for the user in the correct table. Hopefully added more detailed logging to help with debugging, improve handling messaging, and okay. We just need to keep trying. This time I'm just gonna try to upgrade to Pro Plus, because that way I don't have to go back and delete my current subscriptions of 42. Oops. And okay. It's processing. It has processed the payment. Let's see if we can get a successful green webhook, and we did get a received true, which means if we go back and refresh this, without refreshing even, the user has been upgraded to Pro Plus. Okay, great. So let's enjoy uploading as many photos as we want to. And obviously it'll, if I try to upload 5 images, it's gonna take a bit, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, we have a fully functional Google Photo, a clone app where we can upload a bunch of photos and users can change their tier, and we have connected Stripe to that so that we can actually collect real money from the users. And we have struggled a bit at the end, but from my personal experience, working with any kind of payment processing API is extremely hard, and the fact that we were able to get it done in, I don't know, 30 minutes of struggle, maybe possibly even less than that, I haven't checking out the clock yet, is a miracle. It would take entire day, if not longer, for an actual experienced software engineer to implement something like this. So this is super amazing. I hope you all like Lovable and the Supabase integration, and hopefully you build something awesome using them.